Hello everyone, my name is Maria Isabel Cajamarca, this is my ID, and today is a pleasure for me to explain the importance of gamification in the acquisition of skills in English. So first, the topic I have already taken was about mobile assist language learning using task-based approach and gamification for enhancing writing skills in EFL students. It is about developing an IPP for improving writing skills. So as you can see in the abstract, we can check that the fast-paced global changes in the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, have significantly impacted industry of education, especially leading to adaptation and adaptation of new norms, digital devices, especially mobile devices, that have become essential in education, allowing learners to explore the digital realm. So information and communication technologies, so ICT, and mobile learning have played crucial roles in language teaching and learning, providing diverse teaching methods and enhancing learners' motivation and experience. So mobile assist language learning mode applications like Duolingo and Mesmerize facilitate English learning for EFL students inside and outside the classroom, despite English being taught to tight students for a long time. The written proficiency remains relatively low possible due to the inappropriate teaching techniques, focusing on the rote learning and lacking the integration of educational technology. So this is like the abstract we have to notice. And then the introduction, as I said before, it is about it's because of COVID-19 that we have to start by presenting this study, because the idea is to manage digital devices and to analyze that they are very important for the education process. And one of the things they are about to use is the mobile learning. So they can notice that it is a really good way to focus in language teaching and learning. So one of the benefits is that it produces an spontaneous access, and obviously it facilitates English because it becomes creative and more interesting for the students. So it is meaningful English writing learning applications to learn the process of EFL. So it's going to be a little complex, but the thing is that the students have to decode their native language and encode into the language learning. So that's the second language. This is a study that was prepared for Thai people. So the gamification, as we already know, is the usage of games in order to learn different kinds of skills. So we are going to find into the games the levels, the points, and rewards that are not in common context. And obviously, we are going to manage in this study e-learning and learning contents. Then we can also say that the guys who are about to be interviewed are EFL students in Thai context and the teachers as well. So it's going to be a study in which they are going to see if it's possible to acquire English writing skills by using an APP. And this application, it's going to be focusing MALL, and TVA gamifications that are going to be for developing writing abilities. The purpose of the research are about a prototype of mobile education application, so the writing learning process and the learning activities that can be used in hybrid or remote learning. So the idea is to use the time properly to improve time. According to this, we have a literature review in which we have the mobile assist language, MAL, and the mobile learning and the computer assist and the whole requirements and the different kinds of things I have to use in an internet like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the platforms, and some others like Moodle, Schoology, and Google Classroom and Blackboard. So this is a literature review in this part. A mobile assist language learning is about the requirements they have in order to develop this. Then we have to talk about the teaching method that is about mobile technology that includes a pedagogy that suits with learners. So it's going to be according to the ages. In this case, it's for students who are in secondary. So I think it's going to be a methodology more accurately for it. Then we have the methodology, like task-based approach. And this task, with this methodology, the cognitive processes by practicing the target language by meaningful and communicative language tasks, which indirectly enhance the students' self-confidence and motivations. That is what we really want. And well, the principles of this are about the selection of content according to the learners and concentrate on communicating the language by interaction activities to emphasize in both languages, to correlate between classrooms and language, to concern with the needs of students and their communicative applied language abilities. The gamification. In here, we're going to have like a concept of gamification, and it's about stimulating learning and motivation and engaging students into activities, into games that are going to be related with points, with patches and rewards and achievements. So gamification in learning, it's going to be almost the same, but it emphasizes in goal-based activities and reward mechanisms. In English writing skills, what we have is like maybe the most difficult is, well, actually, this is called one of the most difficult skills in English because it's kind of hard to mix vocabulary, to use properly constructions, to encode letters and be able to prepare structures. So that's the reason why this is the main problem to be attacked by using an application. Then we have to talk about the research methodology and design. So it's going to be in 3 phases. And in the study, it's going to be adopted the mixed method research design. And after that, it's obvious that it's going to be qualitative and quantitative. And this study was taken in the students of 665 students of lower secondary. In the part 1, they are going to make the take, and they are going to collect information about information that involves demography. In the second part, it's about the learners. And in part number 3, it's about the experience of improving writing skills. Then we have the whole information according to the places where it is going to, where the study is going to be taken, like Northeastern region, Northern region, Central region, Southern region, and the phases of the study that are clearly defined. We also have the way how the PNI is modified according to the formula. And the 3 phases are explicitly detailed in the whole experiment. Then we have the results, and according to the results, the grade was 7 to 9 all over Thailand. So there is a thing that is about males and females, and it corresponds to different kind of regions. So finally, the results indicate that learners thought that 3 tasks that had improved their skills were maybe designing into folio. So the way how we are going to understand all these numbers is by understanding the items that were suggested and developed in the application. And the first one was like the writing tasks should be relevant and authentic. The teacher should provide something that motivates the students to write. Tasks should be different difficulty levels for learners to practice writing. And the criteria should be designed to reflect different levels of proficiency. So there we have also the things that were analyzed in the whole writing, and it was the content of the writing with different kind of comprehension levels, maybe by a rubric, characteristics of English writing instructions, the assessment method that was obvious to identify the different kind of mistakes or problems that frequently these students from Thailand could have. After that, we have the design and development of interventions. So in this part, we can talk about the English writing tasks and the gamification per se. So we can say that almost all the people in this country have Android smartphones. So that was how they manage the internet usage and how able or not are them to access to internet. Then we have the English writing task. In this, first they have to find something that can be relevant for them, and it was like an essay of their daily lives and describing some things, that like a little example. Then we have the English writing teaching, and this was really important for them to brainstorm, and after that the peer rating. And also they have to be familiarized with writing format, grammar, and vocabulary. And finally, we have the gamification design. So in this, it's going to be considered the different kinds of achievements, the points, and the way how students were encouraged to prepare to use the application MAL. There we have some descriptions into the table, into the principal table. So the interactions, the learning process, the engagement of the students, and how they were facilitated to write the work. We have a lot of information about this to notice that how was the study done. Then we had the intervention form of the design participants. So they had to start by selecting them. After that, they have to explore them or the topics. Then they have to start by drafting ideas, editing tasks, giving feedback, and concluding findings. The proper way how to prepare any kind of writing. So the teacher has to analyze the topics, has to correct, and then they have to explore into the topic. So the idea was to brainstorm and to get different kind of ideas in order to start writing. Then they have to write by drafting. So it means that they have to prepare something that is not clear yet. So they are just writing ideas, and then they are trying to get into the next step, that is editing. And in this part, they are using the information properly. After that, they have to give feedback, and then they have to make a review. And finally, they have to conclude by checking summarizes, suggestions, errors, and language structures. This is a clear form how the process was done. And they are also analyzing about the different kind of steps they use to create this, and it is very detailed for us to understand the journal article. There is also a picture that clearly shows what is the process that was done to get the whole information, okay, and the evidence for that. Then we have to talk about the testing interventions, and it was about mapping the interventions according to the place where they were taken. Then they have to manage into the characteristics of the interventions, designs, arguments, principles, and components of the MAL application, right, learning process activity. There is another chart that has the whole evaluation about the experts and evaluation results, the suggestions, the revisions, and the implementing of the interventions. As we said at the beginning, the experiment occurred during COVID-19 pandemic, whereupon the interventions were completed through online remote learning for 8-week implementation. So it was taken in 8 weeks for 665 students. We also have some questionnaire items, and the question here is, which device do you use for remote learning? So as you can see here, we have people that don't have any kind of device, or people that have iPhone, phone, Android tablet, and iPad, and personal computer and laptop. And the information here is useful for understanding if the study is going to be, it's going to have a field of application. After the experiment, we have the medias, the mean, and then we have percent of Thai learners in use of internet and writing skills. And the results were like, the majority of students can access to internet through any device, whether it's smartphone or computer. And it's clear that after coronavirus 2019, there was an increasing in the number of digital devices and the usages. Then we have the design principles for MAL applications and learning process. So in this way, we can notice that it is accessible for them anywhere and anytime via internet for self-practice, could enhance writing skills and motivation. So the idea is that they have to do this not with a teacher, but themselves, because it produces they feel interested in writing topics and peer writings, evaluations, and responsive AL applications. The results of implementation of the interventions are related with writing skills improved. So they can notice that it was very useful for them. It was correcting their mistakes, and it produced that the writing skill very improved. The use of technology in learning also promotes interest in language acquisition. Of course, when you write properly, you are able to speak too, because you generate ideas. Sometimes the vocabulary is an inconvenience, but it's not really difficult after all. And conclusions and recommendations is to integrate on-site learning and online learning and learning at convenience. And the design elements made and team process and brought about the implement English skills, and maybe start by using these applications for improvement of the writing skills. The writing learning process consists of 7 phases. That is another recommendation, that we have to manage how to use these 7 phases, and which support learners to construct their language knowledge and experience to complete writing tasks. Research is to study the effects of this application in groups of learners. So final recommendations for EFL, our students and instructors, is to keep doing this kind of studies in order to know how it's going, if it keeps improving, or if it is not. Finally, in acknowledgements, it was conducted by the Center of Excellence in Educational Invention. It is in Thailand, Chulalongkorn University. Finally, we have the whole references of this work that has been very clear. And as a conclusion, we can say that the usage of gamification in the classroom or via internet, it doesn't matter if it's hybrid or not, it's going to be useful. And this application was just for writing skills, but it can be used, or it can be developed with another focus, with another objective, and it can maybe produce a meaningful result too. For your attention, thank you very much.